Hello, everyone, and welcome to my review for Wonder Woman. Now, I just came out and watched it, and let me just preface this. After the decent Batman v Superman and the absolutely terrible Suicide Squad, many of us were left wondering if DC's just unable to make a good movie anymore. And, well, after watching Wonder Woman, was it any good? Hell yes. It was good. Nay, it was great. First things first, the DC curse is lifted, and we gotta thank Patty Jenkins, Gal Gadot, and Jeff Johns for making such an amazing, such an entertaining, such a beautiful movie. I was amazed at what I was looking at screen for the entire time. Not a single moment was I thinking, man, this is just like those other movies. No, this was different. This was colorful. This was beautiful. This had a beautiful message put behind it, and it didn't have to be all complex and dark and broody to be great, which is what I believe was one of the biggest problems of movies like Batman v Superman and Man of Steel, where they're trying to put in this very complex narrative into the film, but we're not able to really execute it in a great manner. Wonder Woman takes a simpler approach to its storytelling, yet managed to slip in a couple of those complex ideas and execute them perfectly. So, I want to talk about the cast. Gal Gadot, perfect. Like, absolutely perfect. I said when I reviewed Batman v Superman, that Gal Gadot was one of my favorite parts of that movie, one of my favorite parts. She sold me here. She absolutely sold me in this movie. That she is Diana Prince, she is Wonder Woman, and she can do anything. Like, I was thoroughly amazed at Gal Gadot's performance in this movie. She sold me in a character that I didn't care about before. I did not care about Wonder Woman before this. And now I was thoroughly entertained and thoroughly loved everything she was doing in this movie. Oh, her comedic timing was great. Even Chris Pine's comedic timing was excellent. His acting was excellent. Him and Gadot's dynamic throughout the whole movie was so amazing to see on screen. I mean, they both were just so together. They had so great chemistry together as characters, as Steve Trevor and Diana Prince. And they both kind of learned from each other. I mean, it was like a learning experience for both characters, and they both grew throughout the story together. I love the acting here. It was great. I like the Howling Commando settings. Chris Pine's, Steve Trevor's group of army men. I think that was done excellent. I thought they bore a little from Captain America: The First Avenger there, but I think it worked fine. They were different enough. They worked different enough to where it doesn't seem like a ripoff. And that worked perfectly. I love the mascara. I love the Amazons. I think all of them. And Diana's mother and Diana's aunt. I think they were all absolutely fantastic as the Amazons. I would have liked to see a little bit more of them, but I understand why they cut it off at the point they cut it off, and really don't need to come back. And Ares. I think Ares was alright. And I think this is the one part of the movie where I'm not entirely very happy about. I think Ares looked really cool, but he ended up turning into the classic Marvel villain, whereas you kind of understand kind of what he's doing somewhat, but he's just not that great of a character. And that was the problem here, is that Ares wasn't well developed. However, I do believe because the spotlight was so much in Wonder Woman, same way that Marvel does, they focus on their heroes, the villain kind of did suffer here. But overall, the acting and everything, the performance of Ares was great. It's just to script given to Aries. I mean, it wasn't great there. I loved uh, the place where the mascara is. I love the mascara. I mean, it looked beautiful. It was it. It is paradise. I mean, it looked like paradise. They told me that it actually is paradise, and it was just amazing. And I love the transition they do between the mascara and entering World War One. And that is another thing I love about this movie, the World War One setting. I am a history buff, and I am a sucker for movies set between the war periods, the World War periods. And I mean, it was such a great interpretation of this, of the war setting and war life, and how soldiers, and just how complex this kind of conflict really was at the end. And I really love that. And putting such a black and white character like Wonder Woman in a very complex conflict like World War One, it's, I think, works really well, because you kind of challenge Wonder Woman to kind of think a little different, to kind of really see what people are really thinking in this instance. And the last thing I want to say is this movie is, there is a scene in this movie, and I want to talk about it in a few minutes in spoilers, that Wonder Woman, it becomes that side of Superman. Superman back in the 70s, when the first movie came out, he said he stood for truth, justice, and the American way. Well, the Man of Steel does not stand for that anymore, but Wonder Woman does. And there was one moment in this movie where Wonder Woman was just out there, and the music just swole, and you were like, she is hope, she is truth, and she's justice. She is absolutely perfect. And really, the only thing this movie had to do is thrill me in that Wonder Woman is a fantastic character, that she can be just as interesting and just as great as the likes of Superman and Batman. And I think she has absolutely surpassed Superman in this matter. And, I'm going to say it. I will give Wonder Woman 4.5 out of 5. Now, the only reason I don't give it a perfect 5 is because I have problems with the villain and some parts of the third act with some spotty CGI. But overall, I really, really loved this movie. I cannot believe I loved it as much as I did. And if Justice League is anywhere near this is going to have the winning year with superhero movies, because it is absolutely fantastic. Now, I'm going to start speaking spoilers. So if you don't want to hear spoilers, get the hell out of here. You gone yet? Perfect. So here's my spoilers. So I would like to say I really love mythology, and I love the war period. So I mean, for me, this movie was kind of worked in both ways for me. I love seeing the mythology being like talked about in in kind of the storybook form, and seeing the animation of how they showed the gods fighting each other and how the mascara came to be, and the fighting between Zeus and Ares. I thought that was a very nice way of showing things, and I think it worked really, really well. I mean, I really enjoyed watching that. I loved seeing Diana trying to learn about her culture and try to be a warrior. Cause I want to be a warrior like you, like my aunt. I want to be the best. And I think it was just so cute, and so I thought it was really awesome. I really, really enjoyed that. I found also that this was a little more raunchy than I thought it was gonna be. I mean, Wonder Woman just walks into Steve Trevor totally butt naked and asking what that was. And woman, you don't just ask a man about that. And Steve Trevor, of course, like every man would say, I mean, I'm above average, right? Right? Oh, you're talking about the watch. The watch, yeah, totally the watch. Eye roll right there. I mean, totally the watch. It was really funny. I really liked that. I like that scenes, and I love the scene in the scenes at the boat where they're kind of just talking about about pleasure and all that. It's like, oh, man, we don't need pleasure. We don't need men for pleasure. Like, what? Woman? Oh my gosh, that's cruel. Like, so somebody give Wonder Woman a chill pill here. I mean, like, she was burning poor Steve Trevor. I mean, I'm surprised Steve Trevor still fell in love with her. I mean, because seriously, that was bad. I really loved the scenes where Wonder Woman kind of starts looking at people and like, oh, the baby, and trying to kind of take in London and the war, and her way of looking at things, which was very, very black and white, saying, hey, I want that, I don't like this, I need to fight in this thing, you gotta save those people. And Chris Pine saying, no, you can't do that. I mean, like, come on, you this is difficult. This is more difficult than that. It's more complex. We have a mission to do. We can save them later. We don't have time for that. And Wonder Woman's reluctance to follow that and actually going to the freaking battlefield, blocking bullets, and telling all those men, screw you, if you don't want to save those people, I'm gonna save those people. She went all in, and then all of a sudden, all these other men were like, well, this woman's fighting for a reason and for, like, justice and stuff. I think we gotta do this. I think we gotta start fighting with her. And then they start going in and take over the German trenches. And I just thought that was just a beautiful, empowering moment for Wonder Woman. And I think that was actually the moment where I was sold on her. Where I was said, okay, I understand Wonder Woman. I understand why she's so awesome. She just sold me in this moment alone. And I know I thought it was absolutely beautiful. The final fight with Ares, though, I mean, that was such a CGI crap fest. Like, it was so out of the blue. I mean, the dude that was Ares, he just walks in like, oh yeah, we got it. Like, oh, come on, are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? Like, that was just so kind of tacked on at the end. And, the fight was just, I mean, a lot of the Wonder Woman fight scenes were very CGI heavy. But I didn't mind it most of the time. But, come on. Like, the Ares fight, I mean, it was cool to watch. I just feel like it was unnecessary and just really tacked on at the end. But, I mean, still, overall, I really, really love this movie. I have very little bad things to say about it. And it was beyond anything I could have ever imagined for a Wonder Woman movie and a DC movie at this point in time. And to be honest, I think this is my favorite DC movie that is not in the Dark Knight trilogy. Because, I mean, this is just such a great film. And I feel like everybody should watch this movie. I feel like it has a great message for women and for everybody. I mean, this is a great movie for everybody, not just women. And I don't know. I feel this will resonate, and this will put pressure on Marvel to make great films with Captain Marvel, and maybe we're gonna Black Widow movie, because Wonder Woman managed to do it perfectly. And kind of funny, right? Wonder Woman is the savior of DC. Who would have thought? Anyways, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my review. And if you want to watch more videos like this, or watch more content about DC, Marvel, and superheroes, just click right here. Bye.